So I'm gonna go ahead and date this journal entry. And the first step to completing this exercise is to reverse the last entry we just made. What we're doing is reinstating Olivia's AR. So she owed us 600. We thought that she wouldn't pay, so we wrote it off by doing the exact opposite entry, debiting AR and crediting AFDA. We're reversing the write-off. We reinstated Olivia's AR account with this entry. So our AR goes up and our AFDA goes back up. Now that that's reinstated, if you like, you can write down a brief description. Reinstated Olivia's AR account. I'm not going to bother doing that. The second entry here is to record the collection of cash. So we've done this type of entry many times. Basically, we're exchanging one asset for another, getting cash when a customer pays off her AR. I'm going to clean that up a little bit here. That's better. Once again, you can write down a description if you wish. Collected cash for AR. So let's have a look at how the AR account for Olivia might look like. Way back when we had a sale to Olivia that caused a debit to AR. It went up by 600. Then we wrote this AR amount off because we thought that Olivia wouldn't be paying. And the last two journal entries are down here. We reinstated the $600 debt to Olivia, or Olivia to us, and then recorded a $600 collection. So AR, in one day, AR went up by 600 and then it went straight down to zero again because we had now collected the cash. Let's go ahead and change gears here and talk about credit cards and debit cards. In the modern business world, a lot of cash sales are actually done via credit card. Although retail businesses do have to pay a fee to third parties which issue the cards, a friendly payment policy with credit and debit card options can boost sales. Often, companies are happy to incur a small fee, usually between 1 and 5%, as opposed to dealing with bound checks or missing out on sales from customers without cash on hand. So, in the modern world, with the option of online shopping and almost every retailer in the brick and mortar stores offering many payment options, you're really shooting yourself in the foot if you don't offer debit and credit options to your customers. A lot of customers will not be happy with that, and they're less likely to shop at your store. Let's go ahead and jump into an example here. Let's assume the bookstore pays a 2% fee on all credit card sales. A $100 cash sale on August 22nd will be recorded as follows. So this is a cash sale, but the customer is using credit card to complete the purchase. So obviously we're going to have a debit to cash because our cash account will go up. And we will have a credit to sales revenue. We are selling something, we are earning revenue. Let's go ahead and fill these in. So the first thing to note here is there's a 2% fee on the $100 sale. So that will be a $2 fee. In reality, you will only collect $98 in cash. The $2 fee will go to a third party who issued the credit card. Our sales revenue will still be 100. We sold $100 worth of stuff. Where'd the difference go? It goes to an expense account called credit card discount expense. And that's going to be your journal entry. So it seems kind of harsh that whenever somebody paid by a credit card, you lose 2%. But again, it's much better than the alternative of not getting sale at all. Now assume the same sale happened, but with a debit card used for payment. The debit card issuer charges the bookstore 50 cents per transaction. Journal entry will be as follows. Once again, we'll have the same date, August 22nd. Once again, we will have cash as a debit and sales revenue as a credit. So I'm not going to bother writing out the calculation here. 50 cents will go away. We're collecting 99.5 and our sales revenue is still 100. This time, the extra debit account will be called debit card service fee, 3.5. So you probably like that in this example. You're thinking, okay, 50 cents, I can live with that on a sale of 100. It beats paying $2. But imagine if the sale wasn't that big. Imagine if it was a $5 sale. Then 50 cents is 10% going away. So sometimes it's funny how certain expenses work out better, like a flat fee versus a percentage, for bigger amounts, but for smaller amounts you would prefer the percentage. So keep that in mind as you decide what payment option to offer your customers and the nature of your business. So a quick change of gears again. Note receivable. Recall that note receivable are more formal than accounts receivable. The debtor signed a promissory note which detailed the specific conditions of borrowing, interest rate, due date, etc. Let's review some terms which apply to notes receivable. A promissory note is a written promise to pay a specific sum of money at a particular date. So it's really a contract. That's the best way to think about it. You sign basically an IOU that tells you how much you have to pay and on what date you will have to pay. The maker of the note is the debtor, the party which signs the note and promises to pay. The payee of the note is the creditor, the party to which the maker owes payment. Principal, the amount lent by the payee and borrowed by the maker. Interest, the revenue earned by the payee for lending money and the borrowing expense incurred by the maker. Interest period, also called a note term, is a period of time during which interest is computed from the original date of the note to the maturity date. Interest rate, the percentage rate of annual interest specified by the note. So for example, it could be a 6% rate on a $10,000 note, which will generate $600 of interest per year. Now, the important thing to remember with interest rate is usually specified in annual terms. So even if you own the note for less than a year or more than a year, you apply that rate as if it's an annual rate. So if it's less than a year, you don't pay the full amount that you get in a year. Maturity date, also called the due date. This is the date on which the final payment is due. Maturity value, the sum of the principal and interest due at maturity. Notes usually earn simple interest, which is calculated from this formula. So we go principal times interest rate times time. So the best way to think about time is, say if you own a note for half a year, then you go principal times the annual rate times half. So expressed in years usually, because the annual rate is expressed in years. So we discussed an example about, we're going to dive in. How much interest does a $10,000 note earning 6% annually generate in 1 year? So that's the first question. You got another one below. How much would the same note generate in 1 quarter? And finally, we're going to try 40 days. How much does that note generate in 40 days? So have a look at those 3 questions and we'll cover them in the next video.